What's up, Chode Squad? It's your favourite YouTuber, Whimsy Spit, back with another philosophical banger. Today's topic is how to get over small talk and how to be a professional at talking to people. So here are my best methods to talk to strangers. Talking to strangers is an essential skill to live a life, especially in England. Depending on where you are, you could be talking to strangers every day without your consent. For example, if you're up north, every single person you see will say hello to you as if they've known you. And if you're in the south, you need to know these skills so you don't get stabbed. So on to my first tip, we got act as if you already know them. This one has been working incredibly for me so far. Every time I've used this, it's caused mass confusion on their end, thus meaning I can gain power and control of the conversation because they are too scared as to what comes next. Now that did sound a bit predatory, however this is a very friendly method. Allow me to explain. So you're in the queue to buy something at this shop, you're at the checkout, and you're next to an old man. So yeah, you're going to introduce yourself to this person, your victim, your target, however you want to call it, depending on how the conversation goes, that descriptor will change. And you just want to act like you've known them for years, call them a random name, ask them how their wife's doing, ask them how their dog's doing, whatnot, how's work. And then once you run out of that, they might ask who you are. At some point during this conversation, they might try to ask who you are. You just say, me from the what. Just make shit up, mate. Honestly, it's an incredible method. Eventually, they'll start playing along, and they could be doing that sarcastically or with genuine intrigue. From my experience, most of the time it's sarcastic, but a conversation is a conversation, Right, now my next method, you've probably used this one in your personal life, it's extremely common, this is a low tier method. It works especially well in the UK, just talk about the weather. And I say it works very well in the UK because the weather is so fucking bipolar out here. In the middle of summer you'll have torrential rain and you'll see your bin floating down the river. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a very efficient method, but it's very simple too. What you want to do is go up to any stranger or anyone, or anyone you're talking to, and just say, this weather, eh? It could be the typical grey skies, cold weather, default weather in the UK, and you still talk about how shit the weather is, because everyone will agree on it. There is no one who likes default UK weather. They might like the rain, or they might like the cold, or the summer. No one likes the default grey. I don't even know what weather it's called. I'm assuming it's just cloudy, because there's bare clouds. I just answered my own question. I'm actually not even sure why I asked that. But yeah, this could lead on to another conversation, because you can continue this on from asking about what's the best weather they've experienced, or have they been on holiday recently. Or if you've been on holiday, you can say, I was just in the wonderful, beautiful, whimsical land of Ibiza, and I just can't stand the weather. I want to be back there with all of the normal people. Now for the third and final method, I call this the glazing method. What you want to do, you just want to absolutely polish this person's tip. You want to say what's up to them, compliment on one thing. When they start explaining, if they elaborate, because people love to talk about themselves. If they start explaining about the thing you complimented, just start saying, that's well sick, that. Really like play into it, start glazing to the max. If you've never glazed this hard, you should be glazing harder. This should be the maximum of your ability. You should be pushing to new limits with this glazing. It's actually it's a requirement of the method. There's two outcomes to this method. They think you're a fucking weirdo, or they're happy but they still think you're a weirdo. Yeah, I'm not sure why I included this. I've never done this one in my life, except for one time I did it satirically. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, that's about it, Chode Squad. Thank you for watching. I hope I helped you with your social anxiety. If you have any more philosophical questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll get straight to them. Yeah, that's about it. Safe.